Welcome to South Dakota. You might already know this place by its famous nickname, the Mount Rushmore State, named for the 4 presidents carved right into the side of a mountain. Those granite faces are a recognizable landmark, but exploring the rest of the state is a lot like looking at a giant, colorful story quilt made of many different patches stitched together. To see how all those patches fit, let's roll out our map and treat it like a blank canvas. Before we add the modern towns and highways, we need to start with the oldest and most important pieces, the land itself and the people who first called it home. For thousands of years, the Dakota, Lakota, and Nakota nations have lived here. They know the rhythm of the seasons and the paths of the rivers, and they continue to care for this land today. Later, pioneers traveled to the prairie to build farms. Because there weren't many trees for wood, early families often built their houses out of thick blocks of dirt and grass. As more towns and farms appeared, the lines on our map were officially drawn, and South Dakota became a U.S. state in 1889. Life here required a lot of resilience. Families had to survive freezing blizzards and massive dust storms that left farm equipment half covered in dirt. These stories of the original Native nations and the families who built homes on the prairie are the first few stitches that hold the rest of the map together. If we look at the land today, the massive Missouri River acts like a natural seam. It divides the state into 2 different worlds. On one side, you'll see wide, flat prairies stretching to the horizon. On the other, the Black Hills rise up sharply, covered in tall, dark pine forests. Then there are the Badlands. Wind and water carved the earth into dramatic, rocky peaks, covered in beautiful stripes of pink and tan. Out on the plains, you can still find the massive American bison. These animals use their massive, fluffy shoulders to push through the snow to find grass in the winter. Because the land changes so much, from flat rivers to rocky peaks, it creates specific habitats where different animals and plants can find exactly what they need to live. Those varied landscapes are home to many different people today. Some families live in busy city apartments, while others live out on wide-open cattle ranches. Tribal nations also keep their cultural traditions very much alive. You can see this in beautiful, energetic powwow dances. The state has official natural symbols, like the quick-moving coyote and the colorful ring-necked pheasant. You'll even find state symbols in the kitchen, like the state dessert, a sweet pastry called kuchen, or blooming in the grass, like the purple pasque flower. These shared symbols and diverse traditions are the vibrant threads that give the state its own unique personality. Government leaders meet under the dome of the Capitol building in Pierre. This is where decisions are made about schools, roads, and parks. While Pierre is the center of government, Sioux Falls is the busiest city. It is a major center for banks and hospitals, and the fastest-growing community in the state. Outside the cities, the economy relies on the land. Farming and ranching provide food for people all over the country, including families raising cattle. South Dakotans also use the sky to power their homes. Those giant wind turbines capture the strong prairie breezes and turn them into clean electricity. From corn used for fuel to the wind powering local homes, these resources provide the energy that towns across the state rely on every day. And it isn't all serious work. South Dakota has surprises, like the Mitchell Corn Palace, a building decorated with giant murals made almost entirely out of real ears of corn. Learning about this place means getting involved. You can bake a sweet pan of kuchen in your kitchen, or visit a site where you can see real dinosaur fossils sitting in the ground. Walking where a mammoth once stepped, or tasting a recipe from halfway around the world makes these facts feel less like a book and more like something you can actually touch. Locals also burn off a lot of energy competing in favorite sports, from fast-paced basketball games to testing their balance at the rodeo. In fact, right now, I want you to stand up and try to jump as high as a professional basketball player going for a winning shot. Ready? Go. Great jump! Every animal, city, and person we learned about today is a special part of the living story quilt of South Dakota.